for everybody to see tomorrow again. One more minute. We're waiting just to see if Pamela jumps back on. She was off. Not sure why, what happened to her. Ashley, where are you calling from or checking in from? Santan Valley. Wonderful. Okay. Roger, I know we talked about you. You're Tempe, correct? Let's see if I remember that. I know you want to move into the Tempe Mesa Chandler area. All right. Let's get moving on this. Hello, everybody. I'm Tim Boyles, also known as the Realtor in Yellow. And today I'm going to go over some very good things here for first-time home buyers. A lot of information is going to be thrown at you. If you have questions, wait till I have a question and answer segment, and then you can throw out some questions. If you have anything, we can go through them, okay? Also, if you haven't done so, Ashley, Pamela, and who else is on? Roger's there, Ken. Set up a one-on-one, book a one-on-one with us so we can start discussing your personal situation and see how we can help you get ready to purchase your home. I need to move forward. Now we're going to begin. A lot of people, first-time home buyers, are feeling a little stressed out, a little concerned, uncertain, anxious, I guess excited maybe. All kinds of feelings. We get this with all the first-timers. Mostly, excited but nervous, scared but ready to rock and roll and want to get into their new home. And this is what this program is for. We go through all the beginning, all the stuff that you need to start with first. A lot of times buyers will start on looking at houses and then go into a lender. So they start backwards, and then it's even harder to get straightened out from that point forward, okay? So our agenda for tonight is we're going to talk about, I'm going to go through who I am. Going to do a couple testimonials and some mistakes to avoid. Now, these mistakes I'm going to go over will save thousands of dollars. Some very good ideas I give you. I'll revert back to past clients as well. Let other people make the mistakes and you guys learn from them, so we'll bring up different scenarios and things that happened as well. So that will be good. We will have questions and answers throughout the webinar. I think I have 3 of them lined up throughout there. And then at the end, we'll have you guys schedule a one-on-one appointment so we can talk about your specific situation and what we can do to help you. So I'll begin by talking about myself, which I'm really good at. I'm Tim Boyles. I am the Realtor in Yellow. I've been in the real estate business since January 3rd, 2018. I am a cancer survivor. I had thyroid cancer 2015 and 2016, a couple surgeries, 3 radiation treatments, and since then, no issues. We're good. I see my VA doctor every 6 months to run blood work and do scans. So it gets a little tiring, but at least they keep track of it and make sure I'm healthy and good to go. Like I said, I'm a veteran. I served in the Air Force 1984 through 1990. Some places I've been was Montana. Worked in the missile silos up in Montana. The reason I'm in Phoenix is I was stationed in Tucson, so I trained in Tucson for 6 months before I went overseas and stationed over in Sicily. And then I ended my service time in Florida at Tyndall Air Force Base. And then once I got out, I moved to Arizona. I'm originally from the Chicagoland area where it's cold and blustery and wintry, and I don't like it. So moved out here and began my life. I've been here now 36 years in Arizona, and I have been married and with my wife for 26 years. I have a 19-year-old that's going to ASU at Barrett studying robotics engineering and mechanical engineering, so I'm very proud of him. I'm a member of the Chandler Chamber of Commerce, the Chandler Business Alliance, the Chandler Elks Lodge, American Legion Post 91. So I like to get into different community events and help others out as well. And the last thing I'm going to talk about, I run a YouTube channel. I go out and preview houses that have RV garages, detached workshops, big steel frame garages, horse property. So anything, so people want to store stuff, I go out and find these nice big storage areas, lots on their houses, and get them out in there. So I go out and preview these, edit, and put the music to it, and play them all over YouTube and social media. I've been doing that for about 2.5 years now. Really like doing that. And on the call as well tonight, I have one of my preferred lenders, Brendan, and I will let Brendan talk to you guys about him.
Hey, so my name is Brendan McKiernan. I am a mortgage broker. So I've been in the lending business since, about 2011. So as a broker, I'm able to shop, over 150 lenders to find my clients the best rates and the lowest rates and the most loan programs that'll work for them. I've been, I can go with credit scores down to 500. I've financed farms. I've done down payment assistance programs for first-time home buyers. I've done loans for jumbo loans for multi-million-dollar properties. So there's not a whole lot I haven't done in the business. When I'm not in the business, I am a volunteer search and rescue with the county. I'm an EMT as well and an outdoor enthusiast. I live in Tempe with my wife and kids and been in Arizona for 20 something years, 25-ish. So yeah, it's a little about me.
All right. Thank you, Brendan. Thank you. Now, moving on, I want to go over a couple client reviews. I help people all different kinds of houses they want to get into. You want a new build? Kim up here in the top left-hand corner. That was a new build I help her get into. We'll talk about new builds later in the webinar. Some really good information you need to know about new builds. The couple to the top right, I sold them, they're a returning client. I've sold 3 houses to them already. So that house that you see right there with them, that's the house after I sold their townhouse to me and my wife. We bought their townhouse and I sold them that house, and now they sold that house again, and they're going to buy a brand new build. So they're looking in the fall to do a new build. Gentleman down here in the bottom is a first-time home buyer, never purchased a home, him and his wife, and he's got 3 great-looking girls that are like 6, 7, and 9, beautiful little girls. It was a really great experience working with him, Andreas. I want to talk about Rashami to the left. I won't read her whole review of me. I'll just cover a little bit what happened with her. I haven't done a deal with her or a transaction with her yet. I was conducting an open house and she walked into my open house. It was just the house I was at was like 2 doors down from her house. So she came in, walked in and said, hey, just want to see what, my house is worth. If you can, help me out with that. So we're thinking maybe we might down the road want to sell, but want to see what we can get for it. I said, sure, no problem. Sit down. Let's, there's nobody here, so let's see what you got. So I went into the tax records and I brought it up and I said, okay, you're so and so and so and so. You have it in a trust, right? She's like, yeah, I have it in a trust. I'm like, it's this trust. Da, 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 da. And she's like, no, it's this one. I'm like, no, it's under this trust. Her lawyer 6 years ago put her house in the wrong trust. Not sure how they did that and how she signed off on that, but she found out by me that the house, if anything happened, her daughters weren't going to get it. So I provided her with the recorder's office number and phone number, and she had to get a hold of her lender or her lawyer who wrote up the trust and a title company so that they can go through it and change it all back. So she was quite upset. And after we got everything done, totally happy with everything we got done. She's been thanking me every day since then. So needless to say, she's going to come my way when they're ready to sell. So I always like to help people one way or another. If they don't sell or buy with me, hey, I'm providing information and helping other people. We'll talk about the steps to home ownership. The first step is, yes, you jump on this class and you learn everything you can of what I'm going to be talking about tonight. You get pre-approved for a mortgage. Then you go house hunting with your realtor. Hopefully it's me. And then move into your dream home. The big mistakes people make are they do not check and see which programs they qualify for. What do I mean by programs? Well, programs are places that can give you money, cash, to help you buy a home. There's a lot of programs out there, and there's a lot of grants, first-time home buyer grants as well. So some of the things about a grant is, do you have to pay a grant back? Well, not always. Sometimes, no. There are programs out there that grants, they'll pay for your down payment and your closing costs, and you do not have to pay anything back. But we'll check with the lender at that time to see which programs are available. There are state programs, and then there are national programs. So when the money's gone, it's gone. So we'll have to wait till other funds come available. Always check with the lenders on what grants are available. How do you qualify for a grant? Well, it depends on your income. It can depend on your credit score. Some grants look at your credit score, where they'll pay for your closing costs and your down payments. So you're like, hey, what's the catch? Well, you'll have to do a couple of things on your own, like take a class, a home buying class like the one you're doing right now today. Some of them require you to stay in the home for a minimum of 5 years. And also they require it to be your main house. So you can't use it as a second home or a investment property. A lot of the requirements we can discuss on our one-on-one as well. How much do you need to save for a down payment? Well, that we're going to talk about. There's a lot of misinformation out there of how much you're going to need. There are grants that are forgivable. They will help you pay for your down payment, and we'll go through some of them. Now, mistake number 2, not getting pre-approved. Now, it is very important for first-time home buyers to get pre-approved or pre-approval. So if you're not ready to get if you're not ready to buy, you say you're 60 to 90 days out, you can still get pre-approved and it will still be good 90 days out. Okay. the three pillars to a mortgage approval. Now, what this is this is what the lenders look for to qualify you for a loan. So they're going to look at your credit, they're going to look at your income, and how much money down that you have. What are you putting down? How much money is going to be put down? Also, you'll need to have in mind when we talk to a lender, your income. You need to know how much you make. Are you salary? Are you hourly? Are you seasonal? Are you a W-2? Do you have a 1099? Do you work for 1099? All of this is information we're going to need, and the lender will need in order to decide what type of loan is good for you. And then we'll also know how much you have saved, because even if we get down payment assistance for you, and they pay for the more down payment and closing costs, we get that covered. There's still some out-of-pocket expenses that you're going to need to pay for, and we're going to go through them as well. Went too fast. Loan pre-qualification or loan pre-approval. Pre-qualification helps you determine how much you can afford to spend on a home based on three factors: your credit score, your income, and your assets, as we discussed over on the last slideshow. Pre-qualifications can help you determine what house you qualify for. It increases the bargaining power when you negotiate with the seller. And what I mean by that is when we provide an offer to the seller, I will have to provide a pre-approval form as well, letting the seller know that you're able and capable of purchasing his home. And we'll estimate a monthly payment for you as well. So how do we do that? Well, you will tell us, say, if you don't want to go any higher than, say, $2,500 a month on your mortgage payment, we'll use that for a nice round number. So we'll take $2,500 a month, and we work backwards from that amount to qualify you for a loan. And then once we get that amount, then we can figure the amount of that $2,500 out of how much you can afford a house. So if it's $480,000, if it's $500,000, $600,000, we'll be able to provide you with, here's $2,500. It can get you up to $600,000 home, $500,000 or whatever. We'll be able to go backwards and help you with that. Also, I talked about pre-qualification and pre-approval. Now, they are two different things. A pre-qualification is a quick initial estimate on how much you want to borrow based on self-reporting. So you're going to tell the lender, hey, I'm about 4 months out maybe, but I make $65,000 a year. My credit score, if you know your credit score, say it's 650, 660, something like that. And the lender will take, all your information and will come up with what you can probably qualify for moving forward. He doesn't pull a hard credit. Sometimes he'll pull a soft credit, which will not affect your credit score whatsoever. So that's just an idea. Now, when we go to purchase a home, I will need a pre-approval. And what that is a comprehensive verified assessment of your credit worthiness, requiring documentation, your pay stubs, your tax returns, your bank statements, any hard credit pulls, and a hard credit pull, and showing the sellers that you're serious in purchasing their home. So this way, the lender will already get you pre-qualified. Give me a form that states all that. I send it over with the contract to the seller, and they know that, hey, you can afford this house, you can afford their house if we move forward and purchase it. So two different qualifications, both work great for you. Again, we will do a one-on-one with you to find out which which pre-approval form or qualification you will need moving forward, and we can work with you at that point in time. Now, the do's and don'ts of a pre-qualification loan. I'll go through the do's first, okay? Call us if you have any questions on the loan, the lending process, what you can or can't do. Please don't hesitate to call us. There's no dumb question. Continue living at your current residence. Continue paying your mortgage or your rent. Do not move. Do not stop paying your mortgage. Continue to use your credit cards as normal. What do I mean by normal? Well, if you use your credit card, say at Costco every Saturday, and you spend $300-400 at Costco, and then you pay it off at the end of the month, continue to do that. We just don't want no large charges or taking out another loan or any other types of loans that can prohibit you qualifying for a loan. Keep the same insurance company. Stay current on all existing accounts. Don't go delinquent on any account. That hurts. And expect additional requests, not just from the lender, but also from the title agency as well. That when they call or email you and say, hey, I need this, please get them that information as soon as you can. It's very important. Most notably, if the lender's asking for something, it's the underwriter. An underwriter is the one that actually approves your loan. So we want them to have your information as soon as we can. Some of the don'ts, okay? Do not make any large purchases. Do not change your bank accounts or make any large cash deposits. And we're going to talk about that here in a little bit about cash deposits. Don't transfer any balances unless your lender tells you to. Okay. Some lenders have instructed my clients sometimes to pay off a certain credit card or pay one off a little bit higher than the other. So just listen to whatever the lender is telling you to do, because he knows how to get you qualified. Okay. Don't close a credit card. Don't close any accounts. You might think that might help you, but it actually hurts. It decreases your ability to purchase at a higher allotment. Say you have a credit card that you have a $25,000 balance on. If you charge something and then pay it off and close it, well, now you're taking away a credit amount of $25,000 that can't be used on the good side for you for the lender. So don't close anything out. Don't apply for any new credits as well. Continue using the same credit cards that you have. Don't co-sign for a loan. Don't make any large purchases. Don't buy a car unless you got into a wreck. Then you talk to the lender, and then we can figure out what we need to do. If you need to buy a car, buy the house first and then get the car. It's always easier to get a car loan than it is a house loan, okay? Don't buy a motorcycle. I had a client going through pre-qualification, and I told him don't make any large purchases. He bought a motorcycle. Guess what? I hope he liked sleeping on that motorcycle, because that Harley Davidson he bought, he had to have, disqualified him for a loan to buy a house. So he found out the hard way. So I'm hoping he found some good sleeping on that motorcycle. Do not max out or overcharge any of your credit cards. Okay. So just try to keep everything status quo as we go along. Like I said, the underwriters will get in touch with the lender. The lender will be reaching out to you on different items you might need. Might need a bank statement or a tax return or whatever it is. Please jump on it as quick as you can. And that way it helps us get the process going. Some of the type of mortgage loans there are I'm only going to talk about four. There are hundreds of different. There is a lot of different types of loans, but we're only going to talk about four of them right now: a conventional loan, an FHA loan, and a USDA loan, and a VA loan. Each one of them has special pros and cons. Each one of them is very good. Three out of the four are government-backed loans. Going into a conventional loan, some of the misconceptions of a conventional loan are, I need 20% to put down. No, not really. Sometimes you can get down as low as 3% to put down on your house, but you would need PMI, which we call private mortgage insurance. And in order to get rid of the PMI, you do need to put 20% down. Otherwise, you can put as little as 3 to 5% down for a conventional loan. Now, a conventional loan is not backed by the government. It also helps people that are looking for primary homes, second homes, investment properties. It's one of the best loans out there that we utilized. And it goes all the way up to $806,000. So any houses at 806 can get into a conventional loan. You typically need a credit score right around 620 in order to get into a conventional loan as well. And that can be, worked on as well, because you'll need your debt to income ratio, your credit. There's a lot of other little things that also pertain to a conventional loan, but overall, it's one of the better loans to utilize. An FHA loan is a government-backed loan. It requires 3.5% down payment. Now, this down payment can be gifted to you by a spouse, a friend, a parent, a relative. It can be gifted to whoever gives you the money and basically writes a letter saying, I'm giving so-and-so this money and they don't need to pay it back. FHA loans, you can get them qualified at as low as 580. I know some of them can go down to 500, if that is correct, right, Brendan? Down as low as 500. So we can pretty much streamline anybody to get into a house, okay? You need to have a DTI, your higher DTI ratios have to be accepted. You can also get a 15 and 30 year loan for an FHA loan, and down payment assistance programs and grants are accepted for an FHA loan, which means you basically just come out of your pocket with your escrow amount, which is 1% down, your insurance, your home inspections, termite inspections, and appraisal fees. So that's why you need a little bit more money, and we're going to go into that in a few minutes here. A USDA loan. Now, a USDA loan is a very good loan. It is mainly used for rural areas. It is zero down money down, and they'll offer 100% financing of the house. It is a government-backed loans, and everybody in the resident would need to qualify for the loan. So if you have 2 or 3 people in the house, they'll need to run credit checks on them and make sure that their credit is okay and everything. So there's certain criterias that you have to meet on this one, but it's for rural areas, and we got a lot of rural areas up in say Payson and Flagstaff area. So that's a good loan for that area. And one of my favorites, since I am a veteran, are VA loans. A VA loan is a government-backed loan. It is eligible for military members and spouses. Has no down payment and no monthly mortgage insurance. VA loans require zero money down. but it's always good to put at least 1% down. That way, the seller will know that, hey, in good faith, I want to purchase your home. You don't have to, but we always kind of like to have a little money down in escrow, just because if anything happens and the seller decide or the buyer decides to back out, the seller will get that money. But typically, it's a great loan. Um, all the VA lenders' fees are paid for. We can utilize seller concessions as well, and it is backed by the VA, and it's a great loan for military people. And you can also utilize the loan twice. So if you have a VA loan, there's an allotment. So they'll tell you when a veteran qualifies for a VA loan, hey, you qualify for, say, $750,000. If you buy a house that's like $400,000 and you use your VA loan, that means you have about $350,000 left over. Say you get a new job and they move you to Utah and you buy a house for $300,000. You still have entitlements available. You can use the VA loan because you can show that, hey, your job moved you to Utah. So that way you have two loans through the VA as well. It's about one of the only ways you can utilize the VA loan, as well, making it for two loans. Any other time you have to have it paid off, sell the house and get it paid off, and then reuse it again. Okay. What can you use and for a down payment and closing costs? And I'm going to play a little game with Brendan up here. Hey, I need to hear from you there, Mr. Brendan. Can you use 401k retirement accounts for down payments and closing costs?
Yes, you absolutely can. In fact, it's probably one of the most common down payments that I see is people pulling out of their 401k. Most of the time you can do it without penalty. Sometimes it's in the form of a 401k loan. But pretty much all plan administrators allow for this. It's just checking with them to see what the criteria is. Again, talk to your lender beforehand, because if you plan to do this, it's something, it could take a week, it could take 2 weeks, it could take 3 weeks. So you want to be on the same timeline with your lender to make sure that you're going to meet your close of escrow on when the house is. So you don't want to leave it to be the last minute, but absolutely you can use a 401k.
Can we use gifts? And I know if you guys were paying attention earlier, I did talk about this.
Yes. Yes, you can absolutely use gifts as well. You can use gifts from family members. You can use gifts from spouses. Certain scenarios, you can use a gift of equity. I have a loan that's closing tomorrow where the mother is selling her daughter the home, and she's using the equity in the home as the down payment. So she's buying the home from her mom with zero money out of pocket. So there's all sorts of different types of gifts. Again, the most important thing to do is talk to your lender, be open and transparent and say, what are the avenues that I have to go this route, and just know that your lender is your advocate, right? So my job is to help find a way to help people buy a home. So gifts is a great one. Absolutely.
What about stocks and bonds and cash? Cash, we're going to hold back for a little bit.
Yeah, so stocks and bonds are tricky because it's kind of a moving, the stock market goes up, the stock market goes down. So you can definitely use stocks and bonds. We just have to document it. And that's kind of a common theme in the lending world is underwriters are going to want to see documentation. So if you're going to sell stocks to use for your down payment, they're going to want to see the liquidation statements from it, and they're going to want to see it deposited into your bank account. But absolutely, you can use it.
Cool. Credit cards. Can you use credit cards for a down payment?
No,
so I want to get points on my Southwest credit card. Can I use it and get points?
Yeah, it would be great if you could, and you could earn those points. Unfortunately, you cannot. And it's a great question because I've had people do like the cash advances off the credit cards and think that you can do that. But it's a real slippery slope, and it doesn't end up in a good place. So to your point, use your credit cards like you normally do. It's not a good place for not a good source for a down payment. And again, if you ever have questions on any of these, ask your lender before you do something.
Right. Personal loans. Now, I think we talked about that earlier too, but can I get a loan to pay for my down payment?
In most cases, no. I mean, if there's certain scenarios where if you own a home and you want to pull a home equity line of credit out and use that for the new down payment, you could do that. If it's your first time buying a home and you're just looking for a personal loan, really it's going to have to be in the form of a gift from somebody, and lenders are going to require certain relationships for that gift. So
Yeah.
typically no, I would say, but again, it's kind of falls into that. Talk to your lender and explain your particular scenario, because it's not just a one size fits all
Yeah.
scenario, right?
And the last thing, undocumented cash. Now, explain to them what undocumented cash is.
Right. So that would be like, some people call it mattress money. Some people have a tin can that they buried in the backyard that have, that they've been
Safe.
storing money away. And that's great that you're saving money, but back to the common theme that underwriting is going to want to see the source of the funds. And if you have a lump sum of this $10,000 that you've saved up in cash and you can't say where it came from, that's going to be a red flag for them, because they're going to say, well, is it a gift from somebody? Is it, they always have kind of a worst case scenario thought
Yeah.
path.
Right.
And so we don't want to go down that route. If you do have cash squirreled away, or if you're in an industry where you receive a lot of cash, like bartending or something, there's definitely ways that we can work with you to do that. And again, that's why it's important to be in good communication and just open and say, hey, I have this cash. Is there a way that, this is what I was hoping for my down payment? Because there are ways that we can work on depositing it, and, but we have to just make sure that we're not raising red flags when we do that.
Yeah, we need to have everything recorded and verified. So if you have mattress money, I would suggest, and if you're about 2 or 3 months away from getting into a house, start stashing that, putting that back into the bank. The lender's going to ask for your last 2 months of your bank statements. So as long as it's in there before we give them the 2 months of bank statements, you're good to go. Say you put in $10,000 back in April, you're good. Okay. Even May, you're good, because he's going to want June and he's going to want July moving forward. So try to put that money into your bank slowly, so it doesn't draw any red flags or whatever. So that way we'll be able to use it for our down payments, or use it for your home inspections and closing costs and all that other stuff that the buyers have to pay for.
Yeah, and actually, Tim, that's a good point too, because I had this happen recently where the undocumented cash, when you give your money to the escrow account, your earnest money, they're going to need to document that as well. So if it's already in the bank, then you can document the check that was given to them, because that can, be a potential pitfall as well down the road. So yeah, just get everything in the bank, use your debit card, write a check, get a cashier's check. When you're buying a home, it's not the time to be using cash.
Perfect. Now, let's see. We talked about what you can use to pay the items. These are some of the items that you're going to need to be paid either before or at closing. If you're going with or using a lender, which means you're borrowing money, the lender will need to have the house appraised. So there will be an appraisal fee. Appraisal fee is anywhere from $500 to $750, $800, depending on the size of the house. Your lender will be able to tell you how much at that point in time, where he expects that. You will need money to pay for title and escrow fees. Now, titles and escrow fees can also be paid by the seller. I'm really good at negotiating the sellers on giving the buyers money. Right now is a very good time for buyers to ask for money from the sellers, because the houses are on the market for quite a while. The sellers need to get it sold. They do not want to carry over two mortgages. So they're pretty much going to give you 3-4%. You can ask up to 6% on seller concessions that would give you money to either pay for your titles and escrow fees, pay for your taxes, pay to drop your rate, to do a 2-1 buy down on your rate. And what that is, we buy your interest rate down versus lowering the price of the house, and you save a lot more money lowering your interest rate than you do lowering the payment on the house. You will also be expected to pay for a home inspection and a termite inspection. Home inspection is anywhere from $300 to $600, depending, again, size of the house. It all depends on the size of the house, how big the lot is, swimming pool, if it has solar panels, all this stuff. So the home inspector will give you an estimate prior to going out there of how much it's going to cost. Along with that, they'll order a termite inspection as well. If you haven't purchased a home in Arizona, and most of you guys are first-time home buyers, don't be afraid of termites. One of the things in our business is if you don't have termites, just wait. Everybody gets termites, so don't get scared or nervous or say, "Oh, they're going to chew my house down." No, they're subterranean termites. They're just more of a nuisance than anything. So if a house has termites, we just get one of our termites inspectors over, and then they treat the house for termites. So that's not a big issue. Every house is going to have termites. So once we treat the house, guess what? They're going to run over to the neighbor's house. So just expect that. It's not like the termites back in the East Coast or even in the central Indiana, Illinois, Chicago areas. Subterranean termites versus those termites. So a little bit different, but still a nuisance. Okay. I know I've talked about a lot of stuff here and thrown a lot at you. So if there's any questions you want to ask right now, type them into the chat bar. Let me know. Let Brendan know if there's anything that we need to cover for you guys. If not, then we will continue moving forward. One of the third thing that I like to talk about, and the big misconception, is using banks. Okay, boy, do I hate using banks. Brendan can attest to that. When you use a bank, okay, you are just one of a million people. Banks work bankers' hours. Banks work Monday through Friday, sometimes Monday through Thursday, 9 to 5, and holidays off, weekends off. Well, when do you guys and people look at houses? I know when my open houses are jam-packed full of people, it's Saturdays, Sundays, and holidays. We work all the time. If I can't be in touch with a lender on a holiday, 4th of July, I called Brendan on 4th of July to set up a meeting on July 5th for a client, then he's no good to me. I got to have people reliable that work when we work, okay? Banks, they're okay on some of the stuff, but as far as trying to hit time frames and getting the contract written up, getting a pre-qual done from them, not going to happen. You might lose out on your house. Chase Bank takes forever. Bank of America takes forever. I just as soon work with a lender. And if you work with Brendan, he can go out to 50 different brokers and find the best value, best pricing mortgage for you. I'll let you expand on that a little bit, Brendan.
Yeah, so I have access to 150 plus lenders. So if some people are like, well, I want to use X, Y, and Z lender, that's fine with me. I can price it out for them. I can, show them what their if they want to use their bank, cool. I can price it out for you. I have the capability to do that. And then I can say, well, here's where your bank would be, and then here's X, Y, or Z other lenders that have lower fees, better rates, and then also in my business, I see a lot how quickly these lenders can close. And to kind of your point, if you use, and I used to work at Chase, if you have a loan there and your underwriter is on East Coast time, but we're on West Coast time, you literally lose days between when they email you a question, and you can lose easily a week in the whole process, and that can cost you money. It can cost you earnest money. It can cost you. You need to lock it. You have to extend your lock. It's just it's very frustrating. It's very hard. So part of my job now is to balance. Okay, here's your scenario of we have a 3-week close of escrow. Here's the lenders that can do it, that are able to hit that close of escrow. Here's the ones that have the best rates and the best fees, and then it's your decision as the client, right, on who you want to go with.
Absolutely. Mistake number 4: buying directly from a builder. Okay, I know you're thinking, well, I want to buy new builds. Well, yeah, you could buy new builds, but when you go into a home, say Fulton Homes, okay, or some of the new subdivisions that are out there, when you walk into that front office, that gal you see or that gentleman you see at the front, they work for the builder. They don't work for you. So you need to be represented by a realtor knowledgeable of home inspections, walkthroughs, financial decisions that will help you. If you find a new build and say hey, I like this new build. It's a ready to move in house. It's listed for $380. It's ready to go. They're all done building it. Everything's done. You can negotiate that price. Once the builders are done and that house moves over on their website for move-in ready, that is your trigger to negotiate a price on that house. You don't have to pay that $380, $580, whatever that price is. We can negotiate that price even better, and we can negotiate the loan on it as well. So just because you buy from a builder doesn't mean you have to use their person, their lenders, and listen to them, because that salesperson's working for that builder. He's going to try to get that house sold for as much money he can for that builder. Okay. So just when you're ready to go look at new builds, just let me know. I'll go with you. I'll sign you in, and then we can look at houses together. So that's another aspect. Like I said, on that very beginning screen, Kim up in the top right-hand corner, that was a new build I helped her get into. So quite a few times I've had my home inspector go out a couple times, 3-4 times, because some of these builders use very shoddy people on building it. And you would think that the homes are built perfectly, but you find more issues with new builds than you do residential homes. So definitely make sure you're with a realtor and you have a home inspection that is done outside. So a separate inspector outside of that builder that comes in and inspects that house. Okay. Um, Mistake number 5, and I love this one here. I don't know why that one didn't transfer over. Hold on. There it goes. Mistake number 5. Let's not skip the home inspection. Now, we talked about this a little bit earlier on how you pay for it up front. Please, we can't make it mandatory, but it is almost mandatory that you have a home inspection done when you purchase a home. Why should I not skip a home inspection? Well, it limits your negotiating power if there's things broken in the house. So if you don't get the home inspection done, and you come across that wires are wrong, wired incorrectly in the circuit box, you have a gap in the sewer line. There are so many different things that the home inspector can find that he has to be qualified to look for that you and I would not even know. He'll provide a nice report for us at the end of the night, and then we will sit down and go through the whole inspection report. He's going to put every little thing he sees on it, so don't get scared of it. Inspection reports. If it's got a little cracked light switch plate, they're going to note that, okay? If it's got some scuff marks on drywall, they're going to note that. Better to have it noted than not noted. So all the stuff he notes will help us negotiate some of the issues that come across on the house. If it has roof leaks, if that shingles on the roof is very worn out, maybe the house is 25 years old and never had a roof replacement done. Well, guess what? We're going to have them put a new roof on before you buy the house. So things like that. And also we'll be able to figure out how much this stuff will cost, and we'll give the seller an estimate on, okay, we want this fixed, this will cost this much. You can have whoever you want to inspect it. We have 10 days once we sign the contract to send inspectors out to the house. You can have a pool inspector. You can have a roof. And I always get State 48 to come out and do a free roof inspection. So they come up and pull up a couple tiles. If it's a tile roof, they look up the shingles, they look at the underlayment on there, and they'll check the board. So they'll make sure your house is in good shape on the roof. So that's all free. We don't have to worry about that. But we'll be able to utilize a lot of the issues that we find, maybe even to get the price down on the house. If the seller doesn't want to make the repair, maybe he'll just give you a credit. Then we get a credit for it, and then you fix it down the road. Okay. I know we've gone through quite a lot today, and I'm going to recap a little bit of today's class. One of the things that we talked about was the first-time homebuyers incentive programs, different grants. Check with the lender to make sure grants are available for you. Down payment assistance programs, see what free money we can get for you moving forward. Get pre-approved. Talk to your lender. It's always good to have it, and we can get you pre-approved now, and it's good for 90 days. So don't worry about it. Say if you're not, ready down the road, but at least get it done. That way you have an idea how much you can look at. So if you get pre-approved for like $500,000, we can set up some searches now, and I could start sending you houses for $500,000 that you can pay for and you can qualify for. So that's really good. Don't use a bank. We've gone through that. Use your broker with access to 150 different lenders. Don't skip a home inspection. Don't buy directly from a builder, and always have an agent represent you. And the agent's going to have your best interests at heart, not the sales person from a new build. What are the next steps? Well, the next step is book a one-on-one so I can discuss your personal situation, and then we can set up and get you pre-approved. Once you're pre-approved, we figure out what you can afford based on your mortgage payments. Then we can set up a search criteria and get you out there, start looking for your dream home. And one of the last things I'm going to talk about, when you call me for a one-on-one, we're going to go through quite a bit of stuff that we didn't touch on today. I'm going to go through the 16 steps it takes to purchase a home. And with this comes the different contracts you're going to need to sign. What's a buyer broker agreement? What is a contract and what's in a contract? What does a contract look like? How do I sign the contract? When do we do home inspections? When do we do appraisals? When do we do final walkthroughs? All this stuff I will go through with you on a one-on-one as we move forward. Now, I sure hope I covered some information that is very helpful to you guys purchasing a home. I think I'm doing pretty good on the time here, and we'll get you out under the hour. And if you have any questions, please shoot me a text, shoot me an email, shoot Brendan an email, a text. We're here. If you need anything, please ask us. If you have any questions, now's the time to ask any questions. Type questions in. If I don't see any questions, you guys are free to go. And then I look forward to talking to each one of you individually on a one-on-one. And then you guys will also get a copy of this webinar tomorrow morning in an email. So if there's no questions, then thank you guys so much for coming tonight. I really appreciate spending a few minutes with me, and I really hope you guys have an amazing evening, and we see you down the road.